The story now. The Cybercrimes bill that has been signed into law by President Ramaphosa is aimed at bringing the country's cybersecurity laws in line with international best practice. In fact, that act was initially proposed by the Department of Justice and Correctional Development, and that was in 2015, in an attempt to clarify legislation in that area. The act will now make it a criminal offence to disclose harmful data, incite violence, or threaten harm to people or property. Other offences include fraud, extortion, and theft of intellectual property rights. Those convicted of cybercrimes could be fined or face imprisonment terms of up to 15 years. The legislation has been hailed as a game changer in the South African context, but how is this law likely to impact everyday living? Let's get you some perspective. Bring in cyber legal analyst Gavin McLachlan, who joins us now via our video link. Gavin, thanks for making time. Great to chat to you on the AM report. So in some respects, this is to try and clamp down on harmful data, but is there any kind of consensus on what harmful data actually entails?
Yes, good morning. This has taken some time in the gestation, and there are criticisms of the Act that it goes too far and so on, but in general I don't necessarily agree with those. I think it's an absolutely necessary Act. And data is the modern oil. It's information. That's what our society runs on. We're in an information age. So it's very important to have a statute of this nature, apart from the fact that we need to work with our international partners as well. Do you want me to carry on, or do you want to ask?
Yeah, I mean, to my question, to me, it still seems like the categorization of what is harmful data can be a bit of an elusive concept.
Yes,
and what I was trying to get at is how, in prosecutorial processes, how would anybody ascertain whether a set suspect is actually responsible for issuing or dispensing of data that is specifically harmful?
Yes, that's going to be the case. It's always the case in a criminal matter.
Right.
You have to prove what is alleged. There are certain, in each particular type of crime, there will be certain instances that you have to prove and deal with. I can't predict yet as to how it will be done, but I can tell you that our magistracy and prosecutorial services have been working on this, and a lot of this act is as a result of consultation, very wide consultation, particularly with the magistracy and the prosecutorial authorities. They are aware of the difficulties they face and many things. As I said, I can only make broad brush comments at the moment. I could bore you for hours if necessary, but you haven't got time for that.
Well, thanks for the offer, but I think I'll pass. I guess, part of what I wanted to actually get to is how is this going to affect ordinary living, right? So if, for instance, I'm an avid person on Twitter, should I be worried that what I say on a daily basis, if it does involve exchange debates with certain people, could very well be categorized as harmful data? The sense I'm getting from you is we're actually not quite sure where the line is drawn.
That's very true, and it's absolutely necessary to have some form of limits as far as that's concerned. South Africa, we're well known for robust debate, but it very quickly can descend into abuse and, in fact, criminal communications. Apart from the rest of the Act, which deals with hacking, unlawful access, etc., malicious communications are probably what people in general will generally most appreciate as being the effect on themselves. So far, you've been able to use civil law processes to rein people in if they're rude, abusive, etc. And as I said, everybody talks glibly about twars, T-wars, and tweets, and people throw comments at each other. But it's going to become very difficult because it is now capable of being the prosecution for abusive conduct, which goes beyond robust debate. That's, as a lawyer, I know that I'm being vague, but it's going to depend on the circumstances of each case. But I think the fact that people can be prosecuted will tend to rein in the most flagrant breaches of civil behavior. It's been like social media. Everybody, I deal quite a lot with privacy, etc., and so on. And the most important thing is that people understand social media the effect of it, and remember that Electronic Communications Transaction Act, that
Right.
it doesn't matter if a thing is not on paper, it's just as legal. A so-called tweet, a data message of any sort, which can be video, audio, email, whatever, is legally binding upon oneself.
It's an important reminder. If I can come in there, Gavin, I mean, the perception widely has been, in some circles, I guess, that South Africans don't really care about how they use their data and how that data can be used against them in some respects. With the signing of this bill, do you think that perception will change?
I think very much so, and I don't think it's absolutely correct. Many people are quite concerned and worried. They lack guidance to an extent. I work with schools apart from anything else, and what we're trying to do, and my various colleagues and many so-called cyber lawyers in South Africa, we try and inform people to help them protect themselves and be aware of any risks and any results of action. I also deal with many retirement communities, and people there are panicking, are very frightened about cyber criminals stealing their money. Obviously, that's what it's all about. It's the new way to get money. You don't have to shoot people. You just break in. Electronically, that is.
Thanks very much indeed. An important story that, of course, will have an impact on pretty much everyone, since being on the internet is now pretty much unavoidable. Thanks very much indeed for your take. Gavin McLachlan is a cyber legal expert. Appreciate your time indeed.